From a shared interest in clothing to a weirdly similar mannerism, Princess Charlotte certainly has a lot in common with her mother. Shortly after Prince William and Princess Catherine got married, questions about a baby popped up. Everyone was wondering when the couple would start having kids, and the world was thrilled when they announced Catherine's first pregnancy. Prince George was brought into the world with all the celebration a royal baby can expect, and just 13 months later, the royal duo announced that another royal baby was on its way. The palace, as well as then Prime Minister David Cameron, extended their congratulations to William and Catherine, though their well wishes didn't save the then Duchess of Cambridge from a difficult pregnancy. Reflecting on the experience after Princess Charlotte was born, Catherine described her second pregnancy as utterly rotten. Of her husband's approach to her second pregnancy, Catherine shared on Giovanna Fletcher's Happy Mum, Happy Baby podcast, William didn't feel he could do much to help, and it's hard to see her suffering without actually being able to do anything about it. Though she had a rough go of it, Catherine welcomed a healthy baby girl. Princess Charlotte was born on May 2, 2015, turning the family of 3 into a bustling group of 4. Though the royals deal with the same familial problems as the rest of us, they are known for their stiff upper lip mentality.
Oh, really?
The late Queen Elizabeth II was a stickler for tradition, sticking to her role as the head of the Church of England and denying her sister Princess Margaret from marrying the man she loved because he was a divorcee. Prince William, however, was brought up by the beloved late Princess Diana, who was determined to change the royal way of doing things. Often hugging her boys and giving them access to as much of a normal life as possible, Diana certainly turned the tide, and Princess Catherine took notice, encouraging her daughter Princess Charlotte to talk about her emotions. In a rare interview, William reflected on his and Catherine's tactics with Charlotte. Though she was just 2 years old at the time, William and Catherine were dedicated to her emotional process. According to Express, Prince William said, "Catherine and I are clear that we want both George and Charlotte to grow up feeling able to talk about their emotions and feelings. Emotional intelligence is key for us all to deal with the complexities of life and relationships." It's easy to believe that the children of the royal family don't enjoy a normal life. They go to events and have made debuts in public like they're celebrities. But as noted by People, Princess Catherine has made sure that Princess Charlotte and her brothers live as normal of a life as possible. An insider shared what that dynamic looks like after visiting the family at their home in the English countryside. Catherine greeted the insider at the door holding Charlotte, then 2 years old, and 3-year-old Prince George was clinging to her ankles. The insider revealed to People there was no formality at all. It really was like any other family sitting down to lunch, with George and Charlotte eating their homemade food in their high chairs and toddling around with their toys. Noting that Charlotte's life in the country was full of arts and crafts while highlighting her affinity for the cartoon Peppa Pig, the guest told People that Catherine and Prince William were largely raising their kids on their own, shunning the history of governesses and royal nannies.
At times my children drive me insane and no sleep, but I love them dearly.
The term royal siblings has become mired, as Prince William and Prince Harry's ongoing feud redefines such a phrase. But when it comes to William and Princess Catherine's own kids, the trio has a humorous dynamic. Of course, Prince George came first, followed by Princess Charlotte, and later Prince Louis, the hilarious little brother who often steals the show. Not only is Charlotte the only girl in the mix, but she is the middle child. As noted by People, during an official visit back in 2017, Catherine stopped for a mummy chat with Samantha Burge, the wife of a Royal Marine Commando. Swapping stories about their kids, Burge later told reporters that Catherine shared a rather hilarious truth about Charlotte's role in the family. She calls the shots. According to People, Burge told reporters, Catherine said that Charlotte is growing up really fast. She is the one in charge. We have both got 2-year-olds and they are ruling the roost. Royal watchers, of course, know that Charlotte has often told her older brother what to do during public outings, from fixing his posture during the national anthem to bowing at Queen Elizabeth's coffin during her funeral procession. Charlotte clearly knows royal protocol like the back of her hand and isn't afraid to tell her siblings what to do. Though it wasn't technically a royal wedding, Princess Charlotte served as a bridesmaid for her Aunt Pippa Middleton when she married James Matthews in 2017. The princess looked absolutely adorable on the day and was overseen by none other than her mom, Princess Catherine. Catherine corralled the kids as they got in position for the ceremony, looking flawless while doing so. Prince George, of course, was a page boy for Matthews, and Charlotte looked adorable in her little white dress and flower crown. At one point, Charlotte appeared to be a little overwhelmed by the day's festivities, but her mom was right there to offer a comforting hand, all while flashing her radiant smile at her little boy George, who stood in front of her. If anyone knows how to multitask on the job, it's Catherine. It's amazing what habits we can pick up from our parents without even realizing it. From the way we speak, to how we carry ourselves, to the little things we do subconsciously, many of us have our parents' mannerisms down. Princess Charlotte, as you may have guessed, is no exception. Royal watchers were quick to point out how the young princess has adopted quite a few of Princess Catherine's characteristics over the years. As noted by The Mirror, a particular habit of Catherine's was first pointed out amid the coronavirus pandemic lockdown, during which she attended a number of virtual events and was seen on camera. Fiddling with her ponytail, wrapping a curl around her fingers, and then flicking it back behind her, Catherine was seen repeating the process a number of times while chatting with teachers at the Ribbon Academy. Who has picked up such a habit? You guessed it, Charlotte. A royal fan account on TikTok was the first to point out that Charlotte has mimicked the exact same hair flipping habit, especially in instances where she appears a little bit nervous. At just 6 years old at the time, Charlotte was already picking up her mom's subtle ways, perhaps even without realizing it. The royal feud. It's touched just about every corner of life for Prince William and Princess Catherine, and one of the biggest points of contention between them and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has Princess Charlotte right in the middle. As Harry wrote in his memoir Spare, he was eager to introduce his brother and sister-in-law to Meghan when they first started dating. He wanted them to be the foursome that he had always dreamed of. That goal, however, was more of a mirage than anything else, and the dynamic between the two couples quickly evaporated with time. Perhaps the most high-profile fight between Catherine and Meghan materialized after the 2018 royal wedding, and it all had to do with bridesmaids' dresses. As detailed by Page 6, Catherine and Meghan did not see eye to eye when it came to the dresses that Charlotte and the other bridesmaids would wear on the big day. It was initially reported in the British press that Meghan made Catherine cry while they were planning the outfits, causing the rift between the couples to widen significantly. Of course, Meghan famously contradicted the headlines during her interview with Oprah Winfrey.
Did you make Kate cry?
The reverse happened.
In the same interview, Markle revealed that Catherine made her cry over Charlotte's bridesmaid's dress, and the palace didn't do anything to correct the narrative playing out in the headlines. Though Princess Charlotte and her mom Princess Catherine might be moving into more friendship-oriented territory as she gets older, every little girl needs her mom's comfort now and then. The grief throughout the royal family was on full display in the aftermath of Queen Elizabeth II's death. And though they were not present for all of the events, Charlotte and her older brother, Prince George, attended their great-grandmother's funeral alongside their parents.
I think when you look at the Cambridge children, they have had so much change in the last couple of weeks.
Catherine appeared keenly aware of her children's emotions on the day in question, and regularly placed a hand on Charlotte's back or shoulder as they got through the day, holding her daughter's hand as they made their way into Westminster Abbey. It was clear that Catherine was both grieving herself and in full mom mode. The Queen's passing didn't necessarily come as a huge shock to the world, given her age and the health struggles she had been facing in the months prior to her death, but it still rocked the royal family to its core. Particularly close to the monarch, Charlotte was pictured sobbing at her great-grandmother's funeral, but regaining her composure like the little boss she is, Charlotte relied on her mom's guidance throughout the day and still showed her brother who was in charge when she nudged him to follow proper royal protocol. When we think about the royal institution as a whole, it can come across as rather insular and a bit stuffy. That said, there doesn't seem to be a lot of room for individuality, but it certainly appears as though Prince William and Princess Catherine are changing that dynamic for the better. In their first holiday appearance after Queen Elizabeth's death, William, Catherine, and their 3 children took part in the famous Christmas walk to St. Mary Magdalene Church in Sandringham, Norfolk. Keeping a firm hand on Prince Louis, the rambunctious prince who always seems to get himself into trouble, the royal parents let Princess Charlotte navigate the event largely on her own accord. As noted by body language expert Julie James, such a tactic is indicative of the parents' hands-off approach. James told The Mirror, Charlotte was pulling ahead as they walked towards the church, and George has gone from being the rather shy-looking boy holding his father's hand to the older brother keeping an eye on 4-year-old Louis. James went on to add that Charlotte striking out on her own was a deliberate move by William and Catherine. The parents of 3 certainly have their hands full with Louis alone, and Charlotte's cool, calm, and collected approach without a doubt puts her in a league of her own. There is one thing that pretty much everyone knows about Princess Catherine, which is her wardrobe is on point. That said, it appears Charlotte is taking notice. Charlotte and her mom attended the Commonwealth Games together in 2022, and people quickly witnessed the little royal rocking an outfit very indicative of her mom's style. For the occasion, Charlotte wore a navy blue and ivory striped dress that featured a little white collar. With her cute braids, the little princess looked the perfect combination of polished. The dress was from designer Rachel Riley, and the design in question is referred to by the fashionable among us as the Breton stripe. Who's worn this look many times? Well, Catherine, of course. In the few times that we've seen Catherine in more casual attire, she has often rocked a Breton stripe. On one occasion, the princess stepped out in a Breton striped shirt and white shorts, giving us just that little flash of leg that keeps royal watchers on their toes. Shortly after the Commonwealth Games, Catherine was seen in the print yet again, clearly indicating that it's a favorite of hers and her daughters.